Hey guys, welcome back. Steve here, GraphicDesignerTips.com. Today's tip was asked to me by username The Design Guru a couple days back, and they asked me basically what are my favorite fonts that I use in all my graphic design layouts. Now, if you're sitting there with a pen and paper and you're ready to get the answer to graphic design's life questions, you're not gonna, because I am the most boring person when it comes to fonts. I stick with the most basic and boring fonts and create beautiful pieces of artwork with those fonts. So this video, I'm going to show you the basic fonts that I love to use repetitively throughout all my artwork, but this video is really a question towards all the graphic designers out there watching this. It's what fonts do you find are the most helpful that you use in all your artwork? And when I say artwork, I really want answers based on commercial use fonts that you can actually resell the pieces to people. You own the rights to the font, basically. That's what I'm asking. So that's what this video is all about. And the next question is really, where are you finding these fonts you're purchasing if it's something that your client wants you to purchase that's a little bit more exotic? You know, all different scenarios can happen here. You get work from a client and they give you an old logo, but guess what? You can't match their logo because you don't know the designer, you can't get in touch with them, and you just don't have something that's exactly that logo, but you can always kind of match something. The rule of thumb in design is you're going to want to use only about 2, maybe 3 different fonts in an artwork, and but I always stick to 2, and when I say 2, you want fonts that aren't going to clash. If you're using like a Times New Roman, you know, like a serif font with the little serifs on the end, you don't want to start using that with a scripted font. They're going to clash, I'm telling you. When you're doing body copy, you know, you want to use maybe more simpler fonts easier for people to read. But basically, like I said, 2 fonts. So if you're using a serif font for the headline, your body text should be a sans serif to keep it more simple. If you don't believe me, open up a magazine and look how the advertisements are in there. That's how it's done. That's what we're used to. So you might want to design what we're pretty much used to, because then people are going to, you know, like it much better. Obviously, your clients are going to like it better. And hopefully, in the end, their message will get across to other people. They'll get business, yada, yada, yada. So, asking you about your fonts, let me know below at the end of this video what your favorites are. But now I'm going to go into a couple of my most used that I love the most. We're going to start with my serif fonts. I only use like 2 or 3 different serif fonts. I kind of go back and forth. They're very similar looking. I use Times New Roman or Times. As long as they have the different variations, the italics, the bold. The Pro fonts are something different. If you're talking about like Adobe Garamond Pro or Adobe Caslon Pro, I love those 2 fonts because they have so many different variations that I can use. You know, there's light versions, semi-bold, bold, black, you know, thicker. That's, you know, that's where you have a leeway to start doing some really cool things with that. So those are my 2 or 3 serif fonts that I use. The next are sans-serif. Sans-serif are more simpler. You should use those a lot for body text, especially on the internet. Arial is the most used, or most, I believe that's the basic that a website will put on there, is Arial, which is a sans serif font. Even in my graphic design layouts, I seldom use Arial. I more or less use Helvetica Neue, or Myriad Pro is my #1. Because there's so many different versions, and I just love using it. I've used it for so many years. And aside from that, actually, I didn't even mention, but Futura is, if you've never heard of Futura, you need to have that in your arsenal, because there's so many different variations to Futura. You can use it for headlines, body text. It's like my favorite font, probably. But, you know, these are the couple of fonts I use. When it comes to script fonts, believe it or not, I really don't have a favorite. I don't use too many script fonts unless the piece calls for it. And in that case, I usually get my client's opinion on that. If they want something specific, I can go on the internet and find something. I can preview it. Most of these websites you can preview, you know, like a headline or like a logo, you know, a company name, and then you can purchase that and then use it for your own. But like I said, my fonts that I use, although they are boring, and I may seem boring, if you were to ever see my portfolio of what I can create with this stuff, or, you know, anybody, you know, what they can create with this stuff, you know, it doesn't really matter. So I like to make designs simple and easy. Just because somebody pays me money for a contract doesn't mean I have to go out there and search for 10 hours for new fonts because I use these fonts already in other projects. Don't worry about it. These fonts are unbelievably amazing that you can use them in your layouts. That's why a lot of them are already preloaded on your computer. And any font with the word Adobe before it is a font that you're going to be happy with the rest of your life. So I hope that helped just a little bit to the design guru who wrote this question to me, or anybody else, any other graphic designers. So reiterating my question from earlier, my two questions are, what are your favorite fonts, and where do you purchase your fonts? And I'm not talking about free fonts. Where do you purchase your fonts that you resell in graphic design work? So that's it, everybody. If you like this video, definitely like it up. Subscribe to our channel by clicking this button right here. My name is Steve Looney from Graphic Designer Tips. Any questions you have about anything, let me know, and hopefully I can get to them in a video in the near future. All right, everybody. Peace.